what's up? I don't do a lot of these YouTube lives. Um, and I don't actually think anybody's going to come on here. And truthfully, you probably should all be working. So I would maybe judge you if you did come on. No, I wouldn't. So I have a show. Those of you who don't know, this whole screen thing is weird. I have a show, for those of you who don't know, called Brown Girl Interrupting with Pain to Power Leading with Love. And on that show this week, I had a question for one of the people that was on, who is a really interesting woman who's personal trainer and lifestyle coach for women. And check out that episode, which is below in the links. It's episode 8 of Pain to Power Leading with Love with Ari. But I asked her the question of what would the advice you give to yourself be to the person you were a year ago? And it got me thinking about a lot of things from advice to myself, right? Like, what would be the advice I would give myself a year ago or 2 years ago or 6 months ago, honestly. And it's funny how life works, because as I was saying that, my phone is like struggling with storage recently. And so I ended up looking at all the places. You know how it is. You're like scrambling. You're like, what do I need to delete? And what do I need to, how do I save space on my phone so I can actually do something on my phone? And I ended up at voice memos. I ended up on my voice memos. And I was listening to my voice memos. And particularly, I was listening to my voice memos from December and November. And it was crazy, because as I'm listening to my own voice memos of me in like these states of reflection in my life, in really painful, hard points, I started getting teary. But more than that, I started to be like, oh, Maria, it's going to be okay. Like, I was consoling myself in the past through my voice memos, because she was so broken. She was a really broken person in every one of them. And it's funny how pain to power works. Because once you come to power, just like with childbirth and being a mother, for those of you who are moms, once you have the kid and you go through childbirth, the reason you have another kid and go through all of it again is because your mind forgets. You move through it, and you remember pieces, right? But you don't really remember. Your body forgets, your mind forgets to some extent, to allow you to be able to do it again, right? Same thing with pain. When you get to the power piece, you remember the experience of pain. Like, you remember it hurt. I can tell you it hurt, right? But I forgot what that pain felt like. The visceral feeling. The way my body was unable to stand some days. And how, what's up, Kennedy? Thanks for coming in, man. It's not even a funny live. It's not even entertaining. It's a little bit too emotional, so I don't even know if this is interesting for anybody. But I was reflecting on this idea of pain to power. And, yeah, like your body, my body forgot. It forgot what it felt like to feel pain. And that's how I got to power. Because I was able to put that pain away. And today, as I'm being told by my phone that my storage is all like full and I can't save anything or do anything with my phone, I'm like, well, let me see what I can clear out. And I go to my voice memos and I listen to this memo from November 23rd. And it was partially a memo to myself, and it was partially a memo to someone else. And it was hard. Tennessee, you mess. This is my sad voice. You should feel sad. It was hard. It was hard to listen to myself be so sad. And what I was reminded of was how hard the pain was. How much it hurt. And how much I needed that laugh. Thanks, Ken. But how much it hurt. Because it hurt like fuck. Like it hurt everywhere in my heart, in my body, in my mind. And I didn't know what to do with it. I recorded myself leaving myself a voice memo. Because I was in a real emotional state and I needed to process and get the emotions out. And so something I had tried for a little bit, and it clearly blocked up all the storage on my phone, so it wasn't a great plan, is I would leave myself voice memos and I would process my thinking, and it would be partially like a letter to myself and partially a letter to the person I was feeling all this emotion towards. And it's deep or crazy or stupid, I don't know. And yeah, I was sharing the pain, sharing the hurt, and listening to it today. All I wanted to do was to go back in time and hug myself and give myself that love that I was so desperate to find somewhere else. You know, it's funny that you asked me if I saved it. Is I had for so long, right? And then I listened to it, and then I debated, do I save it or do I erase it? Because there's a piece of me that's also like, I don't want to hold on to hard times or even good times. This is something I do. I hold on to everything. I hold on to the past, and I keep always thinking about the future, and I lose the present. And that can either mean not appreciating the present for me, or it's not seeing the reality of the present, which I did for really a long time. And the reality of the present being that if I don't see something, it doesn't really exist. And when you're stuck in this place where you're willing to keep thinking about the future or reflecting on the good things of the past, you don't notice that the present is fucking a mess and not real, and that you're escaping to something that isn't real to keep you hoping for something. I did get past the piece of hurt, and that's it. That's the pain to power journey, right? Like, that's why I'm making this video. That's why I was like, let me do a live. I never do lives on YouTube, but I decided to do a live on YouTube because you gotta get through the pain to the power. But I think we also have to reflect, because, and this is why, because the last few days I've been struggling a little bit with this feeling of slipping into patterns that don't serve me. And I think it was almost like I was being reminded of what that pain felt like when I do the things that don't serve me. And listening to that voice memo, I wanted to console that Maria, but I also wanted to remind her that you're not going to be this person like forever. You are going to move through that pain. You're going to find your voice and your strength, and you're going to walk out of this like a fucking badass empress. Because you are so much more powerful than you feel like in that moment of weakness. And I think that's the message, right? Like, that's the message I probably have needed to send to my past Maria self for a long time, is that, like, the pain is never as strong as my power to overcome it. And And I was reminded of that today. But I was also like, I was guided to listen to this voice memo, right? I was guided to go back and listen to myself share this story, right? You're all about self-preservation. That, you know what though, Ken? Yes, if I don't love me, how can I love others? And it took me a really long time to figure that out. A really, really long time, because I've always put my love into others and not put it into myself. Self-preservation is key. And I think that's just it. What I realized today when I was listening to those memos is that I gotta have fucking boundaries like shit. There's none of that giving anymore. Nobody just gets my energy. Nobody just gets me. Unless if you're watching me on YouTube and you're following me and subscribing and you get me this way. You don't get me in real life the same way. Not anymore. That Maria has changed. That Maria is no longer. That Maria left a voice memo, stood up, dried the tears, found the power, and walked the fuck out of that space to become this Maria, who is an empress, who is a powerhouse, who is healed and healing, but so much more healed, and knows that that healed space is precious, right? Like, that's why we love ourselves, because that healed space is fucking precious. It took a whole lot of fucking work, a lot of tears, a lot of pain to get to be who I am standing here or sitting here today. And nobody and nothing is ever going to break that again. I've allowed it too many times in my life. So that's it. That's my life. Pain to Power, it's a real thing. So y'all, come follow me. Follow Pain to Power, Leading with Love with Maria, or Brown Girl Interrupting. And yeah, hear my story, but more than that, hear other people's story. But this is a little taste of my story because, yeah, that's what I did. That's what I do. Since I was 21 and got pregnant unexpectedly and my whole life changed, I have been taking pain and turning it into my power to figure out and discover who I am and what I'm really meant to be and do in this world. I'm still figuring it out. It's a journey, but it's a journey that I am so open to being on, not necessarily knowing where it's taking me and being aware and okay with that, knowing that no matter what, I'm going to be strong enough to make it through whatever's thrown at me. And I'm also going to have some fucking big-ass boundaries up to make sure that the only things that come into my space are the things that I allow. And the only people who get my energy and light are the ones who deserve it and value what it is in their life. Pain to Power. Join me on Sundays at 9 o'clock with my interviews of folks who have taken pain to power in their own lives and led with love. Thanks for joining me, Ken. I appreciate your chat and your conversation. And thanks to those of you who are watching. Like, subscribe, make sure that you hit the little bell for the link so you get the notifications. And follow me. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Follow me. Brown Girl Interrupting. Peace. Much love. Salute, Ken. Thank you. Always.